Hi, and welcome to the Feel Good Always podcast. I'm Becky Bradley. This is real stories of love, connection, and remembering who we are. I'm here with Stephanie Rodriguez. Welcome.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here.
I am so glad you're here. So Stephanie, she is really my teacher. She taught me Reiki. You're a Reiki Master, and she's more than that. She's a psychic. She works in the Akashic Records, a really integral part of my awakening. And I believe I've been a part of yours because we're all doing this together, right? And Stephanie is going to share so much wisdom today with all of us, her own journey. And really part of the work that you do is working with women, working with those that are waking up and helping us, just being a guide on this journey. And on this podcast, if anybody is new here, the Feel Good Always podcast was born out of my daughter, Kara Bradley. She was in a fatal UTV accident at 15 years old. And I actually meet Stephanie about 11 months after that. And I obviously was in a ton of grief, but I was really massively being expanded already. I'm really connecting with Kara, connecting with many beings on the other side, really knowing that there was this really great awakening happening, and those things were happening simultaneously. And this podcast is something I was led to do, to bring people who are waking up, that are moving into, you might say, new earth, great awakening. So that's what we're doing here, that we continue to trust our inner knowing, to trust that it is real, all of these wild experiences we're having in our human bodies, and that we do it together. And our listeners, really, by hearing these stories, it really opens and it clears the channels for the truth, because only love is real, and that's what we're sharing here. So I'm now going to share a short little bio about you, and then we're going to get started talking. Stephanie Rodriguez is an Akashic Records practitioner, Reiki Master Teacher, and a sound healer with over 6 years of dedicated study and more than 1,000 client sessions. Her work centers on guiding women through spiritual awakening, identity shifts, life transitions, and business expansion by helping them access deeper levels of truth, clarity, and self-understanding. Through the Akashic Records, Stephanie illuminates soul patterns, karmic imprints, and untapped potential, bridging the unseen with the physical to support real embodied transformation. Her path began intuitively at a young age, sensing and connecting with the unseen long before she had language for it. After years of inner work, releasing old identities, and learning to trust her voice and boundaries, her gifts fully emerged and deepened into the work she offers today. Following the passing of her father in 2023, Stephanie's connection to spirit and understanding of life beyond the physical expanded even further, allowing her to hold both grief and deep knowing simultaneously. Today, her mission is to help women reconnect to their intuition, remember who they truly are, and step into lives that feel aligned, empowered, and deeply authentic. And so we have so much in common. That expansion through your dad dying, your gifts coming online. I often will say on here that if someone is experiencing someone on the other side, that they will start to experience more in these human bodies. For me, I feel like it's Kira's energy comes through me. I immediately had like this onboard activation of just this telepathy and a massive connection. And so it sounds like you had a lot of knowing when you were younger.
Yeah, I did. When I was younger, I actually was afraid to sleep in my own room because I could feel and sense spirit around me constantly. And to this day, like, my mom and my sister, we still laugh about it because I would sleep with her until I was 18. I would wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, would run in her room because I could just feel so much. And I didn't know what to do with that. It was a scary feeling to not know. And
did you think that it was spirits, or was it just like a fear, like a feeling? I'm just curious because I also, of course, slept on my mom's floor until I moved out, like 18. I also was with my mom, but for me, it felt like, just like this fear. There was a lot happening. I did not know that it was a connection to just so much feeling coming in.
Yeah, I think it was both. So when I started feeling, it was normally when somebody passed away. So the first time is like when my grandma had passed away, and I could feel her outside, like in my room at night sometimes, just like visiting. And I remember telling my mom, like, grandma's here. And then instantly one day I knew, like, hey, grandma crossed over. And My mom had saw a psychic medium like a week later, and she said, "Oh, your mom just crossed over." And so she came home and she was like, "How did you know?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Like, I don't know how all these things are coming up for me." I mean, wasn't even, I think I just turned 18. So it was just this knowing, and that was scary too. Like, where is this coming from?
That makes so much sense. I think as we begin to know that, if, it's like reframing that so that it doesn't feel scary, because we do know things. Obviously, when it's around death, that can feel even scarier, thinking, because our culture has a real fear of death. And of course, especially when you think it's the end,
Yeah.
which it's not, and we know that, and especially for children, but that could change over time. I really do feel like we're ushering in a new relationship with death, and just going, oh gosh, how did I know that? I know that sometimes when people know something is going to happen like that, they could feel like bad, because they feel like they're knowing, because they've identified this as something bad. I also knew Kira was going to die, and I had people afterwards, and they would say to me, well, you didn't cause this. And I'm like, no shit.
Yeah.
Never did I ever think that I caused it. I just knew. It was like my soul was showing me ahead of time, which made me question time, made me question, like, how could I know this? If time is linear and we're actually just these humans here in these bodies and limited, like science would tell us, then how do I know all of these things, right? So you're experiencing things that no one talks about.
Yeah. And I truly believe too, before we have an incarnation, we agree to these experiences. Like, you and Kira probably had some type of contract where this was supposed to play out. And some people
Absolutely.
don't like to hear that.
Yeah.
That's hard to hear. But it is something that we sign up for before we incarnate. We make soul agreements with people.
Yeah. And that is 100% true and accurate in my experience. I'm not here to tell other people that. Like, yes, that information found me in all different ways. And then Kira's direct communication with me was that we planned this for what we're doing today, which is not just so that we could help foster kids with the foundation, which is amazing, but so that we could literally bring through this energy onto the earth. She sits at the highest, at least as I understand it, sits at the highest realm with the seraphim. And that's why I feel so good and I can connect and all of this, because she's bringing that energy through me. And the only way that would have been able to happen was, one, to really bring me down to nothing, which was a horrible human experience through the grief of her death, and to expand me through being able to hear her and to not listen to culture, to belief systems that say that we're separate. I've heard things like Reiki is bad, all kinds of ideas that really I believe are meant to control and to keep us not knowing our power.
Yeah, absolutely.
And nothing like your child dying to be like, I will seek that. I will listen to that before any other idea that I have been fed through a system that wants to control. I was talking about this higher consciousness coming on earth. So you obviously, it was started when you're young. Your dad transitions 3 years ago. You're expanded even more, but you were doing this before. You were already doing this work. It's just expanding. So Kira also died in 2023. So you and I are kind of simultaneously being expanded.
I just
And
got the chills.
yes, confirm chills. I tell people, like, those chills are they're the energy merging as they're here with us having this conversation. But you and I meet actually in 2024. And I love this because you were recommended to me by 3 different people. And that's when I pay attention. And of course, you're amazing at what you do, but it was beyond that.
Yeah.
It was, I sat down in front of you and I was grieving pretty heavily still, but I knew I was supposed to meet you and I was in such a high vibe. And I said, you asked me what I was here for, and I said, I think I'm here for you.
You're like, I'm not sure, but I know I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah. And you looked at me and you said, well, it's always an energetic exchange. Yes, you're here for me, and I'm here for you. Like, we're doing this together, and that's kind of what we've done.
I truly believe that even as I'm a practitioner giving information, my clients are also giving back to me just as much. I learn so much from anyone who comes into my space. So yeah.
So describe what you do, because I mean, I could describe it, but like, so when I came to see you, you opened up my Akashic Records. And if you could just explain to people what that means.
So I truly believe the Akashic Records just gives that confirmation, because I feel like we all have that deep knowing. It's just when we open the records, it brings it through. So the Akashic Records, I like to tell people, is in easy terms, is like a Google search for your soul. So anything that you want to know about yourself is held in this database. So let's talk about the database, because the database is infinite. And I think of the database as, so from the time your soul was ever created or incepted from God, source, creator, whatever title we want to give that, your soul has a recording of every word you've said, every thought you had, every incarnation, past, present, future. This database, which I kind of view it as God's brain, it's being recorded in this infinite space. And so when we open up your particular Akashic Records, we're able to really understand what you need to hear, what needs to come through, and it always serves your highest and greatest good. So when someone comes to me, it's really just dependent on what they want to know, because it's infinite. We can explore whatever you want to explore, right?
How did you end up moving towards doing the Akashic Records?
So I had an awakening a few months before that.
Before your dad?
Yeah, well, my dad was still alive when I took the Akashic Records, but it came to me because I was a stay-at-home mom and I wasn't working, and I knew I needed to do something. It was just a knowing. And so one day I just was like, I think I want to be a psychic. And my husband was like, what? Okay. Like, I don't even know what this means, but it was just an all knowing. And so I had like dream visitations from my grandfather who passed away, just like these really intense things happening. And then I went on Facebook and I just started reading about the Akashic Records and just found somebody I really trusted to like learn it. I didn't even really know what it was. I just was like, I need to do that. And I had no intention to do readings. I had no intentions. I didn't even have intentions with it. But after I started learning the Akashic Records, my psychic gifts turned on, my mediumship turned on. It was just all of this stuff that I was like suppressing out of fear from a child just opened up. And so the Akashic Records opened that for me. All of those keys that were just suppressed in, it just blasted wide open. So
I love this so much. What I love is, first of all, that it's also kind of simultaneous with what happens with me. I believe the energy on the earth was ready for this awakening as the vibration is rising and more of us are hearing like what we're supposed to be doing. It's that simple of going, I think I'm supposed to be a psychic. And that's my message, and I know it's yours too, because I'm so glad that you listened to that voice. Of course you did, because you're always going to sit here today. You have this role. We all have a role. We all have a purpose. But it's almost like going against the mainstream of going, I think this is what I'm supposed to do. And really, it took Kira dying. And I started just experiencing, like you said, like this massive amount of awakening. I don't even think I heard about Akashic Records until after she died. And then you opening my Akashic Records. One of the things that I found really amazing that you helped me see was my connection to the earth, that I'm actually like a conduit, that I'm processing for the earth, and specifically fire is what you said. And I was like, wow, I have been connected to fire my entire life. And actually, I've had like several anxiety attack type, like 3-4 months of like really intense insomnia, really bad anxiety, seemingly out of nowhere. And they all started with really big fires in California. I just needed to see like how we think there's just like everything's connected.
Everything's connected.
Yeah.
And I think it's so amazing too, because you already knew inside of you. So like I'm bringing through just confirmation.
Yeah.
Essentially what it is. And I always like to tell people too, it's also just seeing, sometimes we have blind spots. And I think we're just mirrors for each other. So you may see something that I'm blind to, and the Akashic Records are just connecting. I can help kind of bring that blind spot to view. And you're like, oh, that was there. Like, okay, I can feel that. Even your connection to the earth, it was always there. It was just you remembered.
Yeah, it was always there. It's a feeling. Everything is being processed through the body, right?
Yeah.
And I love being able to look back at that experience and know that yeah, like I was feeling the fires coming, which is it makes so much more sense because there was a lot going on in the collective too. Like the Me Too movement was happening during the first fire. There was a lot happening for me to process because I can process collective and then seemingly think, wait, what's wrong with me? Like why am I so anxious? Because I'm processing all of this stuff that was happening, which leads us to today, because I look at those things that happen as the divine feminine is rising, women are coming and standing in their power. I continue to be asked to do even more, to speak my truth, especially as I do now, as I see you doing it. Because this isn't exactly mainstream, but it's becoming more and more mainstream, even when maybe we're told that we're crazy, or that Reiki is bad, or you shouldn't be doing that. That's the devil's work. Not that a lot of people are saying that, but there is a group.
There's still fear out there of being intuitive and receiving that information and not having to get it from somebody in a church, or you're receiving the wisdom for yourself. So I truly believe, back in the day, the priest or the pastor, like they were the ones that connected to God. And it was usually a male. And it was someone you had to go there and pray and worship, but they only had that connection to God. And so I feel like that's where that wound comes from a lot of us, or there's that fear of like, I can't connect to God, and anything that's outside of that is bad.
To understand what maybe is happening. And it's not to say somebody is wrong, but like to look at what has happened, where you are being told that your connection needs to go through another human being, or stop meditating, or don't do Reiki, or yoga is bad, or whatever, like these things that, I had a friend recently that posted about her beautiful connection to Pachamama. And immediately somebody slid into her DMs and said, she was sacrificing something about sacrificing children. And that's fear.
Yeah.
And her connection to Pachamama healed her. So when we start to have these outside sources of fear telling us that we can't go to whatever it is for you.
Yeah.
It could literally be your plants outside, the butterflies, the caterpillars, whatever it is for you, to activate the truth of the knowing of how connected we all are.
Yeah. And I truly believe that for me, how I found God, source, is through nature. Is through connecting more to who I am. And that's not to say that somebody else, like I talk to my sister about this all the time, because their family goes to church, and how they found God is through church. And I think that's beautiful. And I think that whether you find God through nature or you go to church is all perfect. It's beautiful. It's just, there can be an extreme on both sides, right?
Yes.
You can have an extremist in church where it's like, nope, you can't do this, you can't have this. And then you can also have the extreme in the new age.
Yes.
Right? It's where do you find the balance? Because it all points back to you, right? It all points back to you and your growth and your evolution and your journey. And it's just being reflected all back. The mirror.
It is a mirror. It's all a mirror. And that's how I usually look. Like, that's why I haven't really spoken to this, because I know it's a mirror.
Yeah.
It is showing me something. When I hear the messages of fear, I love them anyways.
Yeah.
I love them anyways. And I don't want to point back. I just want to say, any belief system that keeps you in fear, question it.
Heck yeah.
Because what I experience, oneness, only love is real. And it feels really good.
Yeah.
So if fear starts to come in, I know that I just get curious. And my experience is unshakable. My confidence around it is unshakable, because I don't care. But my daughter died.
Yeah.
Okay. And she came to me and told me she was with God, and she teams up with God. And my life showed me enough things that I have no question that this is real. This is my experience. But as somebody that is being asked to guide and lead, that is the only reason that I'm saying the things that I say to people. It's always what's inside. And I believe that the people that are in fear, lots of people are in fear everywhere.
Yeah.
But like saying don't do that, all I say is listen to yourself. If you're getting intuition that you should not do Reiki, then don't.
Yeah.
If the feeling is, or like I do breath work, right?
Yeah.
I lead breath work. And I know whoever's going to show up, that's when they're supposed to show up. And I suggested to people and they're not ready. Some of them. And because if you're getting a feeling that you're not supposed to do it, don't do it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if people are telling you not to do it because the demons are going to come in, then and that's a real thing.
No, 1,000.
It's real that people are being told that. But I'm just saying, like, question everything. Kira taught me that. My life has taught me that. If your belief system causes you to be in fear, to think that you're going to be eternally damned or that you're going to be separated after death from your family because they don't believe as you believe.
Yeah.
Does that feel good to believe that? I don't know, because I just don't want to believe in something like that. Even if it's just to have a great experience here and not be in fear. I don't believe that's real.
And I feel like they all are connected.
Yes.
And it's cool to just see how it all connects. Even just like my relationship with Yeshua or Jesus, right? And finding that connection to him, not through church. I didn't like read anything on him. I didn't read the Bible, and I'm totally not against the Bible. I think it's an amazing book for people, but I found that connection with him through feeling his frequency and using him as a mirror for him to reflect back what love was to me, what's inside of me. And just even having conversations with somebody who goes to church and talking about Jesus or Yeshua. And they were like, wow, that's in the Bible. And I'm like, I've never read it, but I connect with him in a different way. He teaches me the love that I have inside to be embodied. And I think whatever and however you find God or Jesus or whoever it is, it all connects back to the same thing.
It's real.
Yeah.
And Jesus, I had the same experience.
Yeah.
I knew nothing about Jesus. Like, I'll just be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not religious. Nothing. I mean, I hear people talk about him, but I just wasn't exposed at all. And then Lila became Christian, my daughter Lila, after Kira died. And I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Because I believe that it finds us, just like you said.
Yeah.
Like, she was not going to find God the way that I found God. And that gave her real safety and a lot of people to help her and just really amazing humans.
Yeah.
And that's how she found, and she did find that through the Bible and through the teachings. And I was in less fear around her doing that because I did feel like I had raised her in a way to listen to herself.
Yes.
And to question everything. And anything that tells you that you're, like, and I still have those conversations around different ideas.
Yeah.
From anywhere.
Yeah.
That I felt comfortable with that. And my ideas around it are always changing. So I'm open to everything. But Jesus came to me. Yeshua, I started getting all these signs really, really strong when I was in Costa Rica in a sound bath, just like the image. I saw his image and then proceeded from there to feel the embodiment of this Christ consciousness, that I would meet people like literally walking around Costa Rica and just feel the energy coming through me to say the thing that person needed to say. And I'm like, who said that? And my phone in my pocket started playing like this song that is talking about Jesus Christ. And it goes on and on and on. So I love that. I love that because, and that is real. Like, everybody, I get the love and the worship and all of that because I feel it too. It just found me because it finds us
differently.
Through yoga, through 12-step, through Buddhism, through Hinduism, through literally just being in nature. Like, I don't think some people are atheists and that's fine.
Yeah.
My ears ringing. So, and it's like, all I say, like, my message for people is that for yourself, question everything. Don't look to any guru, and that it will really find you anyways in all different kinds of beautiful ways. So, which brings us to Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
Because I know that you have done retreats. You hold circles for women. And one of your things is your connection to Mary Magdalene. And I have been having all of this connection to her. Same thing. Found me, started showing me stuff. I'm like, who is this person? Because I knew nothing.
Yes.
But I was getting this downloads of information. And that's a really deep connection that you have. So I'd love for you to share.
Yeah. So I actually struggled with connecting with her. So she came to me a few times. And I truly believe when they come to you, it's to be a mirror for your expansion. And she really was trying to come to me to help me work through a wound in my throat of speaking my truth and being more authentic and operating from that space. And so the first, times that, she came through or I saw videos, I was really resistant to her. And I just started opening up more recently, actually. And my resistance came through watching other people too, like dressing in all these red clothes and the cloaks. And it just, everything seemed so performative and just, I was like, what is happening? It pushed me further and further away from the connection. And I had to find it on my own. And I found it on my own through having to work through the wound in my voice of speaking my truth, of really just operating from an authentic space and allowing her to be that mirror for me to just show up, to not have to overplan, to allow the channel to flow through, to hold space and just say the thing, not hold back, right? So my connection to her is still growing, I will say, because it took me some time to work through that, right? Of the priestess wound, and to really cultivate a relationship with her that has been different than what I've seen. And that could be a little controversy too, right? Because there's nothing wrong with wearing the red and doing all those things if that's how you can connect with her. But to me, it pushed me away. I really feel deep in my heart, and I've heard this so many times, is we are not here to recreate being priestesses. Yes, we can hold that information is here to help us remember, but we're here to use that information into this modern day time is how I really feel for myself. I'll speak for myself. I really feel that information coming in is to help us now, right here and right now, right? We're not in temples in Egypt, although I wish I was going back there, but we're remembering the Magdalene and the voice and our power and our strength to be used now, right here, right now in this modern time. So it's exciting.
It is so exciting. And to actually listen to the teachings, or, as interpreted. So like I read like Sophia Code, the Sophia Code, which brings through a transmission from all of these archetypes, including Mary Magdalene, the Sophia dragon tribe. I don't know if you've read it or not. But,
I haven't.
But it's all the same thing that you're talking about. It is happening now. It's been talked about for, forever, that there would be this period of time, the end of the Mayan calendar, new earth, all of these things, that we would be awakening, and that Mary Magdalene is, and so the Sophia Code, it does talk about her, starting to come to people, that everything that her and Jesus were doing then, and that that humanity would awaken years later, that she would have this, almost like smear on her name, and that we would come to see the truth.
Yeah.
And that it would be embodied in us. And that is what's happening. That is what's happening. It is being embodied in us, which is the truth of what we have possible in these human bodies, that we really have to stand in the truth, that we have to be able to speak the truth, even in the face of persecution. And especially, so you might see out in the collective women, right? The Me Too movement. I mean, we've watched women rise, and this is not about women and men, because men are part of this too.
Yeah.
Many men are waking up. I've been talking about the patriarchy a lot. The patriarchy hurts everyone.
Yeah.
It hurts everyone, because it hurts men and women when it is out of balance. The divine feminine and the divine masculine, when it's out of balance. And so we're watching the divine feminine rise.
Yeah.
Mary Magdalene has come to me, has helped me continue to speak my truth, even when people might think that I'm crazy. And when we start going, I don't want to talk about the church, there is different ideas, and I don't know what those ideas are.
Yeah.
But I can feel that feeling of, I'm not supposed to say anything about this.
Yeah.
And then that's the part of me questioning, wait, am I not supposed to say anything? Or is there something in the collective conditioning that tells me that what's coming through me, that I need to be quiet? Listen, my message is only love is real.
Yeah.
That's it. That is my message that we are embodying. And it really is a peaceful, beautiful message. And it's not us against them. It's just, it can't be stopped.
Yeah. And I think some of us hold that wound in our soul lineage.
Yeah.
And I say soul lineage because you can have an ancestral lineage, right? That is connected through up through your ancestors. And then you have a soul lineage where you've experienced other lifetimes outside of your ancestral lineage now. So there are a lot of us who hold the Magdalene wound of fear of speaking out the truth. Even after, you know, her passing, there was still people that would still show up to churches and still try to share information of what she was trying to get out there, right? And I believe that those people were also probably persecuted or shut down. And so this is all information too. Like I was guided to not read a lot of books on Mary Magdalene or Yeshua, and I've held off on the Sophia. I know exactly that book, and I can't, because I think I'm waiting for the wisdom to land in my body first. So then when I read the books, I'm like, okay, yes, I felt this. And so I haven't read any books on her. So this is all just coming from a knowing
I love it.
in my body.
So I feel the exact same way.
Yes.
I feel the exact same way about the books. Certain books, I don't
Yes.
watch YouTube. I don't like to watch Instagram videos. I don't want to hear somebody else's story because, and I think that's me just learning to trust my own knowing.
Yeah.
Like, am I believing that because I read it in a book?
Yeah.
Or am I believing that because it's true, like you said, landing in your body? And anybody that's listening, it's like, if you get led to a book, you're supposed to read it.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, the Sophia Code, like we were talking about earlier, I'll read like pieces of books and then I'll come back to it a year later when it shows up in my field, when it's like literally like hopping off the shelf or everybody's talking about it. And like you, I want to know, I want to learn about these things from my life, and that helps me trust what's coming through because there's so much information. But I believe we get exactly what we need. And I do want to say the thing about the dressing up, priestesses, and I understand like there's ritual around that, coming in circle and wearing certain colors, but there are lots of people that maybe have that feeling of like, ooh, that feels like performative. And I'm not saying that the people that are doing it are being performative, but it's just an interesting thing to look at, of how there's almost like this feeling of like, ooh, I don't want to be a part of that.
That was me. It pushed me away from it. And I do now like understand, yes, there are rituals to it. And I truly believe if that's how they connect, then that's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
For me, it made me, it pushed me away.
And I love it because it takes all kinds of things. So like maybe the wearing of the colors, the certain colors helps you. And then it's like all these things that want to keep us from our truth, because it's literally just an embodiment.
And you know what? And honestly, it's not a judgment. It's just, that's not my path.
Yeah.
Right. And so that is someone else's path. And I've learned to that is what they like to do. And for me, that just doesn't feel right to me. And that's okay.
I love that. Thank you for clarifying that, because I'm going to be clear. Same thing with me. It's not a judgment, but it's not my path.
Yeah.
It's like, because we get shown which way we need to go and what we need to do. And one of the things with you helped me see, it was a regression and you were just magical. You can open up the space and you use all these things, and the music was perfect and everything was perfect because you heard, I need to play the song, which was about the temple, and it was
a Magdalene song.
Of course.
And I don't play songs during the regressions. But I
didn't even realize it was a Magdalene song.
Yeah, it was, yes.
Because at the time, I don't even know who Magdalene is. Mary Magdalene is. But that's so wow, just like I'm making that connection now, because you walked me through this beautiful regression. And at the time I was having some pretty intense grief coming in. So I remember coming into you and through that regression saw my future self, and in a temple, and she handed me a tool, and you started talking about me being an activator. I didn't know nothing about this. It's like the same things. And then it starts coming in kind of from everywhere. And that really is what my role, one of the roles is when people are around me. And I think we all kind of do this. It's just that people find me everywhere. Maybe the frequency, I don't know how it works. But to activate people into this frequency. And we do that. We activate each other. I mean.
Yeah. Well, I'll never forget that session, because as you were going through it, I was doing Reiki on you as you were going through the regression. And I remember my whole body, I could feel my bones. And I was like, I swear to God, I'm going to lift off the floor right now. Like, That's it. I'm going to float. I don't know what is happening, but you were having an experience and I was having an experience. I mean, I didn't say it at the time because it was your session, but I was like, oh my God, she's activating me, even though she's experiencing it. So that session was wild.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah, I felt it. And we had all kinds of stuff that comes. So what's exciting about this for people that are listening is there's a lot possible that there's a lot happening. We are about to fly. I tell people all the time, anything is possible. And like that we could fly, that's what it feels like when I sit in that high vibration of oneness, is that we are just really being activated into this new consciousness, and that anything is possible, and that we help each other. Yeah. And so my I always call it field sends me you, right? And you're a piece. And then you and I start connecting, and then I connect you with someone I know. And Heidi is a local yoga studio owner, because you were supposed to be at that studio doing these circles. And I don't know, it's like I surrender to what it is, but and you had all these messages around it.
Yeah. And I was just deciding, where do I want to hold these spaces? And I know I want to do it with just women. And I was called to, and I was like, okay, I'm going to text Becky, because you knew Heidi. And as I was, I don't know if we were on the phone. No, I was texting you. And I saw a mailbox that said 722, which represents the Magdalene. Yeah.
A feast day. Magdalene feast day is on July 22nd.
Yeah. As soon as I saw that, I knew I was being guided to that space for a reason, to do these women's circles. And so it was just showing up through you, through the mailbox, through all these different signs coming in.
And then I think it was your first session there, and parked outside is the literal license plate.
Yeah.
Says Love 722.
Yeah.
And I come in and I go, is that your car? And you're like, wait, what? And I told you, and you're like, no.
Yeah.
You had no idea. And I was like, of course. And these aren't just me noticing. This is our field calling in this really illusion that we're in.
Yeah.
Because the fact that the car in front of this yoga studio where you're holding it says Love 722, we are being shown. And for whatever reason, you and I have been activated maybe more expansively to really continue to trust that when I sit and I listen, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah. And it's hard to deepen that trust. I mean, now I've, really practice doing that, but it can be a hard road to trust and believe what you're seeing and the information coming in. You really have to be open to it.
And then it just keeps going.
Yes.
And then it just keeps coming and coming. And one of the things that's so beautiful about everything that's happening as we move into these higher levels of consciousness, does it mean that it's always easy? No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I've experienced great suffering, as many people have. It does show me over and over and over, you're on the right path. I just trust that I will get shown what to do next. And in this moment, we're doing this. And that I'm so grateful to these beings, Mary Magdalene, Yeshua, all of the children on the other side, your dad, really one consciousness.
Yeah.
That can't be stopped.
No.
It can't be stopped. And we're all playing our part. Everybody has a purpose in this. All the people that are listening have a purpose in it. All the people that you're working with. And I'm like, this is freaking amazing. Yeah. We're all waking up.
Yeah. And I think the most important, we're all mirrors for each other. We're all mirrors for each other to find our way back to love, authenticity, to our truth. And we learn from one another. We really do. And I'm just so excited to just be on this path and just keep following my inner guidance and my knowing and what's true to me. And, even just saying now is keep following that for you, whether that is going to church or whether that is going to the temple or whatever that is. We all have a purpose and we have to trust what that is. I'm not meant to be here to do certain things, but other people are.
Yes.
And so it's not to judge that. It's just to follow what feels true to you. In that is your authentic self, right? If I were to dress up or do certain things, it wouldn't feel right to me. But for someone else, it does, right?
And that's totally fine. And it's amazing. Yeah.
You have to follow that path for yourself. And that's what leads you. Really, truly does.
And we have to trust in ourselves. And it's hard. It is sometimes hard to trust this path, especially when it's like you're kind of we're forming something new on the forefront. Forerunners, I see the number 144 all the time. Thank you to the team that helps give me the courage to keep saying the thing. I mean, every time I write a post or put out a channeled podcast that I'm like, I don't even know what I'm saying, and I'm pressing send, it's just like, I can't believe I'm just putting this out there to my 2,000 Facebook friends, that like a lot of them are probably like, what is she talking about?
Yeah.
But it's I surrender. I surrender to, it will find the people that it needs to find. And that's like what we do before every podcast. It's like, I surrender my ego.
Yeah.
Please let my ego step aside for the highest good of all. And that we all have our part. And this is my part.
Yeah.
And that it's unshakable, right? And that I just say to stand in your truth, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And if your truth has you thinking that someone else's truth is not right, okay, that's fine. But all I say to people is like, if your belief system is causing you fear, get curious.
Yeah.
That's it. Maybe you're supposed to see something else. I mean, I'm always like, wait, why is this happening? And it's just like our lives are just these little algorithms that show us so much.
And I think it's just God experiencing itself. Yes. And we're all just different prisms, different perspectives of God having an experience, right? And if God is split up into all these fractal pieces, well, we're all going to experience things differently. We're all different keys. We all have different journeys, different paths, but it all comes back to the same thing. Everything comes back to the same thing. I really feel we're going to see more of this spiritual community and Christianity or church, like coming together a little bit more. I really feel that is going to happen because I just feel it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that declaration that you made. Yeah, I love it.
I do.
I already feel that. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of this podcast. I do feel that. Like, for the most part, I haven't had like a fundamentalist views here, but maybe I should. I got some friends I can call.
I think there's going to be a coming together because I think we all relate more than we think, but we let fear get in the way. We let judgment get in the way. And when you really sit down with someone, especially like family members who are Christian and go to church, really at the core, if we're both open to hearing both sides, it's the same thing.
It's totally the same thing. And I do have I have a lot of friends that are Christian. This is not because there can be Christian beliefs. It's not at all. There are some beliefs that it's like what I'm doing is scary to them.
Yeah.
But most of the people that I'm talking to are not scared. Christians, they're not, they might think that I'm wrong. But for the most part, there's like this definite belief in, wow, maybe something's happening there. And there's more, like you said, like with anything, with politics, that when we sit down and have these conversations, that we're more saying the same thing.
Yes.
And only love is real, and that the core of everybody is beyond the wounds, is this, beautiful experience of just wanting to be in community, which is what you're doing with your women's groups. I think it's so important for us to come together at this time, to do this together, to not isolate, I just did a channeling recently where they were talking about to gather the high vibration, that we come together, that we create this container when we're actually together physically, to do that. And you're doing that. You're doing that through your women's groups and through your retreats. I now am doing the breath work in person, but that it could also be done online, and that people finding other people that are saying the same things as you and waking up, because it can be a little frightening.
Oh, yeah. And I feel like we have many awakenings. It's not linear. And that's what I help women do, is you might have an awakening and then you go through an ego death and then the dark night of the soul, and then you're good for a year and all of a sudden you remember more. So it's this constant path of remembering, and getting there is stripping back those layers to be more and more authentic, more and more you, just every single day, how you show up, more you. And how you do that is you follow the joy, right? And that's feel good always to me is being authentic, because if I am anything less than that, it doesn't feel good at all.
Yes. Yeah. Now when you say that, it's like everything that I am and embody is a quest for my own authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
It's why I'm sober.
Yeah.
because I was sitting there drinking a Sierra Nevada, reading a vegan nutrition guide, and that didn't feel authentic. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, it's not
Seriously.
like it wasn't a bit that big of a deal, but like my true self, my integrity wasn't living
Yeah.
in alignment with my actions. That's
Yeah.
it. It's that simple.
Yep. And I think that's why
Go ahead.
that's why I love being in these spaces, is because that's what we're stripping the rose or the petals, the onions to at the core, is who are you beneath the fear? Who are you beneath people pleasing? Who are you beneath all these things that people told you to be? And where do you feel the joy to shine? And that's where the path opens, is in that space, you know?
Yes, absolutely. And I had been practicing for a long time. I'm sharing my truth, especially like I think about 12 step, you do a lot of like vulnerability and sharing and sharing and sharing. And I feel like that kind of gave me a step into, I'm very practiced in this, so I can share, but like being asked to share in the way that I do now, I mean, I share very openly about everything that's happening in the awakening, but also the pain of it and the confusion. And yes, I can be super sad, but I'm also connected to everything and everyone. And that is hard, to share the truth of your own experience, whatever it is, because if I share with all of you the way that I feel inside, it might make it harder.
Yeah.
Because now I've just put words to the feeling. And I encourage people to do that, because when we share, it helps open other people that we're not alone. And it's not always easy.
But you know what? Honestly, like, that is hats off to you, because this is where you're meant to be, is to share all this information.
Yeah, the information, the truth of like the side by side being very awakened and still very human, like you said. And then I'm kind of upset about the whole like we have to keep waking up. Just like I feel like I've just woken up so much and like experienced, and it's the truth. It spirals like it does. As long as we're here in these human bodies, we're going to continue to wake up, continue to have experiences, confusion. Wait, I thought I was going there, and now you're giving me signs that I'm supposed to go there. And I'm out here sharing it all and not knowing if any of it makes any sense, but knowing simultaneously that it's happening with you, that it's happening with me, that we're all kind of continuously waking up, coming back down, kind of like, what are we doing here?
I think we're keys. Like, whatever you say might be a puzzle piece for somebody else.
Yes.
And we just can't hold that back, because we're all here to remember together.
Yes.
We're not here to do this alone. We're here. That's why we found each other, is because some things you might tell me, it pings me in something I've been trying to work through, and you have no clue, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so that's what I feel like. We're all just like little puzzle pieces, just trying to find our way back.
And I love that. I love that too. And thank you for saying that you never know what you're going to say and how it's going to help someone. And that surrendering of the ego, that I'm just going to say it, it's always going to come from a good place. I mean, I'm not going to go out and be a jerk to a bunch of people and think I needed to say it.
Yeah.
But like to share the truth of my experience maybe will help somebody else, because so many people it has helped me, and that's what we do here. And we have to do it together as we continue to, to wake up, to do this. As we begin to wrap up at the end of the podcast, I usually ask 2 questions. One, for people seeking that peace and that, walking through this awakening, if you could give any tips of what to do. Obviously, they can connect with you. You have a gift. You are a leader. You're leading. You are leading. And so am I. Yeah. And that's the truth. And we didn't just find each other to help each other.
No.
We found each other so that when people come to me, because I can't help you all. I can help with the podcast, but I'm like, here's Stephanie's number.
We all have different roles.
And there's a bunch of us leading, and that we can all kind of do this together and do our part, because we can't do every part. And so we help each other, but we also like can kind of work together, all of us, so that we can do our part and know that everybody has a part. But the question around that is like, when you're sharing with people what they can do, something that you do, to help them find peace in this awakening. And then you already answered this, but if you wanted to expand on it, around what feel good always means to you.
So if I can just share one thing about spiritual awakening, is if you're on this journey, is to really get comfortable being in your body and being on earth. Oftentimes we can bypass the experience by being up in the clouds. I've been there. But really, truly, it's to live It's to be here embodied in the human experience through your awakening and showing up more and more each day you, and knowing that you don't have to pedestal a guru, a deity, a god, that they are here to be mirrors, to reflect back to you what's already inside, and to just walk in your joy and follow your purpose and just don't hold back in that. Feel good always to me is authenticity. Anything, if you're not feeling good, see where you're shrinking yourself, where you're people pleasing, where you're not showing up more you, and really try to look at those places so you can live more abundantly on earth, because that's what we're here to do, not to bypass the human experience, but to fully, truly live.
Yes, thank you. Mic drop.
Yeah. Boom.
Boom. There we go. And that is
Stephanie out. No.
Stephanie out. That's all the message that I hear all the time. Feel good always. Live your life. Go live your life.
Yeah.
And you did bring me that message, exactly what you said. One of the first times I met you, because I was up in the clouds, I was experiencing so much. My consciousness was so wide open, and you helped bring it into the body. And I didn't want to be here on earth. I'd rather be in the clouds.
Yeah.
But the life is here. It's a blip. We go out, we come back in, and we help each other remember. And I love that you're helping so many people remember.
Yeah, thank you.
You're helping me remember, and we're doing it together.
Yes. We're doing this together.
We're doing it together. And everybody that's listening is part of it too. So
we're all connected.
Yes, everywhere. Exponentially everywhere. It's like, I'm going to keep saying it. You can't stop it.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's like that Starship song. Nothing's going to stop us now. So
we're on a roll. Nothing's going to stop us now.
You can't stop the energy. So
I will say too, even if you want to stop when you're on this path, it's hard. Once you see, you see.
Yeah.
So
you cannot unsee.
Yes.
Yeah. You could take breaks. You
Yes.
could rest, but you can't unsee, and it'll find you again, because it's our true nature.
Yeah.
And it's happening. And I'm so grateful to be experiencing this alongside. I continue every day, every morning. Like, thank you for sending me all the people. And I knew they were coming.
Yeah.
Kira, I could hear very quickly within a day of the day she died, I'm sending all the people. I heard it very clearly. And you're one of those people. And I am just.
Thank you, Kira.
Yeah. Yeah. When she's soul family to you, we are all soul family. And for whatever it is that we're doing here, and that continuous trust.
Look at my legs. They're all goosebumps.
Yeah. She's like, I'm here. We're going to merge together. So yeah, thanks again. I love you.
I love you. Thank you for having me on here.
Yeah, amazing. And thank you everybody for listening. If you haven't followed the podcast, do that. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.